Welcome to this quickie tutorial on how to use your blog on blogs.setonhill.edu. You should already have been given your username and password. If not, you can contact me. I'm Dennis Jerz. Contact me by email at jerz, J-E-R-Z, @Seton Your username and password is not the same as your university username and password. It's a different database. We're looking at blogs.setonhill.edu, which will be your starting point, your hub for blogging. Now, when you post something on your blog, eventually your postings will show up here on this page. They'll also show up on the internet at large. A weblog, by definition, is public. So if you post something to your weblog, you're telling the world, this is something that I want you to see. If you don't want the world to see it, then keep it private. But basically, a weblog is a page that you can update fairly easily and fairly quickly. I'll just take you to the Reeves Library weblog for a starting point. You know, some of the recent entries. You can see a blog is not just words and links. A blog also has multimedia. We have some embedded YouTube video clips. Grabbed it earlier. Here we have some multimedia, images. Down here we have an example of images and text interlinked. So while if you're familiar with Facebook or Twitter, for a weblog you have a lot more freedom to format what you want to write in order to get a different point across. This image, the images here are obviously the main point of this text. So blogs.setonhill.edu. Let's log in with the username and password I already know from beforehand. I'll go to Elizabeth Seton's blog and log in. Now, the first time you log in, you will probably see a page that looks like that. To get to your blog, click on Blogs. You would probably just have a blog that's got your name on it. Liz has membership in a different blog, but we're just going to let Liz use this blog. Now in the future you can just click right here and jump to creating a new entry, but I want to walk you through a little bit about what happens when you click on your site. Now this is the dashboard. This is a page that you use when you edit and work behind the backstage on your blog. If you were to give somebody this web address with this CGI in the middle and this number here on the end, this web address would require somebody else to log in with your password and your ID in order to see any content whatsoever. I want to show you the difference between this editing page and this is the view of Elizabeth Seton's blog that the general public will see. Here we have, this is the most recent entry on her site. At the moment it's the only entry on her site, but we see there's some links embedded in it. There's a sign here that says there's one comment that's been posted. This column shows most recent comments. Calendar is fairly prominent. Archives are visible. As you blog, your history will appear right here. So bloggers are generally conscious of their own past writings and will often link to, last week I was writing about thus and such, and they'll include a link to what they wrote about previously so that somebody coming late into the conversation can catch up. That's a lot harder to do in a social networking site like Facebook or Twitter, where basically those sites operate in the immediate present. A blog entry requires a little bit more forethought. Bloggers will generally edit and at least do a little bit of proofreading and tweaking to their text before they post them online. I'll just close this window. We're going to go back to the editing page. I will take you, however, to this page. Your first time that you log in, click on your name and make sure that you click on change password, because I will have given you a default password. You should change that. Also, add your real email address here, whatever email address that you follow along, and then I think it also makes sense for you to add your password recovery word and phrase that you can follow the instructions as you get here. The user pick and so forth, it's pretty much like any other social networking site. I'm just going to hit the go back button. And here we are again at the main dashboard. Let's create a new entry. And oh boy, create new. That's pretty much obvious what we're supposed to do. It has us create an entry. Now, if you're blogging for homework, you could call your blog entry so your professor might have given you some prompts, and you can answer the first prompt, and you can say yes, no, and Thursday. You could post that. It would be out there for the world to see, and it would bore the world. Blogs really are far more interesting if instead of saying my homework, or even, rather than making your blog entry look like homework, practice presenting to maybe a future employer who might come across your blog entry, or practice for your professor who will be watching your progress. Practice putting some enthusiasm into your writing. Practice convincing people that you're learning something. Put some oomph into it a little bit. The example that I love giving is, okay, so let's say I'm blogging for a literature class. That's far better than simply, my Emily Dickinson homework. And so, put some quotes from Emily Dickinson here. Link to a page that teaches us something about Emily Dickinson. Do something that causes some synapses to fire in the brain of your readers. Okay, so the body of your entry goes here. Like any word processor, you can change the size of your font. You can change a few other things. We can turn this to a bulleted list if we want. There's quite a lot of flexibility that you have here, far more so than you would have in Twitter or Facebook. But if you know HTML and you would like to do even more, you can click here and you can see all the HTML. If you don't know HTML and you're not interested in learning it, don't worry, you never have to see it.